It's literally hot here today, out in the Swedish desert, so to speak, with the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, a racetrack feature with the hottest Cayenne.
This quarry, they
Whoa,
bought
look
an
at
old
that.
quarry.
Oh my God! Look
my
at
God.
What? We're in Gotland, Sweden for you with an all-new racetrack, and this island here is called the Swedish Majorca because it's always so hot here. And fitting to the hot wheels here with a Cayenne Turbo GT with an even stronger styling, lower end, big air intakes, LED lamps as standard, and the color here is called Arctic Grey with special wheels. And we also have other color choices for you, a green one. Is it maybe German racing green with the so-called neodyme wheels in that golden color, or maybe all black for you with black wheels, and another choice for you, the chalk color, a very interesting one. We also know it from the Panamera, for example. That one then with blue wheels, so even more individualization possible. Oh hey, well, what about the white one here with the golden wheels? That's a fancy combination, isn't it? Top speed of this thing, 300 kilometers an hour or 186 miles an hour, the fastest Cayenne yet, and also the quickest. Soon more with the engine details. Whew. It's really hot in here right now. So then, 22-inch wheels are standard here in this neodyme color. Carbon ceramic brakes are also standard for this top-of-the-line model, and rear axle steering and anti-roll control. So everything the Cayenne offer you get with this vehicle. Also, the standard air suspension sits 17 millimeters lower than with the normal turbo and 7 millimeters lower than with the GTS. So even lower than anything else, and more carbon fiber use. It has the sports lightweight package, means carbon fiber roof, and also special here for this version, another carbon fiber flap, and also even stronger rear spoilers. So actually two rear spoilers, one here, the second one there, and that brings just additional 40 kilograms, so almost 80 pounds of more downforce there in the rear. And you maybe also see that this is the coupe of the Cayenne. So the Turbo GT only available as a coupe and only available with 4 seats. The Turbo GT has a wider track, and also they increased the negative camber angles, so it's even sportier than, and yeah, actually even racetrack optimized. They have a 7-minute 38 seconds mark on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. 3.3 seconds is the acceleration figure, by the way. And there's this very special titanium exhaust, and when it's really hot, then the blue part here does really glow in blue. And then we also have a carbon fiber diffuser. Under the hood we have a 4-liter V8 bi-turbo, 640 horsepower in this case, of course all-wheel drive with rear-wheel biased. And if you know that one here from the Audi RSQ8, yes, you're exactly right, it's the very same engine. And as I said, 3.3 seconds is the acceleration figure. Let's see. Key fob, light and Porsche structure, and then door closing sound. Very solid, and it also has here the option of soft close. Ta-da! Here we go. And then the interior, full of Alcantara. That's how we want it when it's racy. It's the raciest material, both for the steering wheel here, contrast stitches on the inside, and also a yellow 12 o'clock mark right there on the top part. That's beautiful. And then the Alcantara seats, also Alcantara on the middle, and even in a perforated structure for even more breathability while racy driving. And we also have the Turbo GT stitching at the seat. There are still some animal shares, but most of the interior is indeed Alcantara. Also the ceiling all the way around, that creating a beautiful and cozy but yet racy atmosphere. Also here the Porsche logo stamping on the middle console right there, and also here the grab handles, even with more Alcantara. So it's to me one of the best Porsche Cayenne's interiors I've seen. Yes, it is dark, and bright is a little bit fancier, but for a, racy interior here, really beautiful. And we maybe also here in the background, we have some workshop atmosphere going on here now. In the interior overview, we can clearly see the lovely racing features here. Another Alcantara covering here for the dashboard. Then special backgrounds here for the analog clock, for example, and also for the instruments, which are digital left and the right side, for example, then for the map. Then the central infotainment screen, PCM 6.0 with Android Auto surprise coming up very soon. Steering wheel with a great microfiber grip, it's the best, no doubt about that. Cozy and at the same time racy. And then we also have the drive mode select directly at the steering wheel here with the red button for this overboost function. Middle part, high gloss black, yeah, a lot, but at least we have still manual control of the climate unit. Glad to have that. And then the typical cup holders for the Porsche and so on, and also then the armrest, which can be opened for the USB-C connectors. Infotainment system here with a map and somewhat responsive, but I've had it recently in Cayennes that it sometimes failed the whole system. I hope this recent update here, the all-new update, will better that. And here you can see the island of Gotland on this island in Sweden. Yay! Android Auto for the Porsche, first time. And here we go. This is the integration. Looks like this. Apple CarPlay is possible also wirelessly. Here the Android Auto just with the cable. And I think it's actually quite clear and visible, this integration. Sometimes it has slow moments, but at the moment actually it's working quite well. So Android users can now also buy Porsches. When you're using the driving modes, here for example go to sports mode, then the sports exhaust system also is active, even more boost then. Also the suspension changes and also here in the Sport Plus and so on. And here we can extend the spoiler here also when stationary for show off or maybe for cleaning and something. It looks quite fancy indeed, but even further it only goes then when driving really fast. Just love the seating position here in this platform. Porsche Cayenne, Audi Q7, Audi Q8, VW Touareg and so on. It's upright, it's a full-size SUV, easy entry. As a tall adult, no problem at all. And headroom here with runway is 86 or 6.1. Plenty left and electronic control of the steering wheel. What about if you're a little bit shorter? AJ is coming up, checking out here.
So, some opinions from my perspective. I'm 5'8" or 1.73 meters, thereabout. Well, I don't really feel like I'm lost in this car. It's a really slim and low dashboard, so it's not jutting out too far. The windshield, unfortunately, isn't very tall, so you still feel like you're looking through some sunglasses. But on the whole, the seating position, even with the seat all the way down, is really comfortable for me to see outside through the front and the side.
In the rear we can see it's 4 seats only. In the middle part we have just this cubby hole or something. No middle seat, but most of the time probably you can actually live with that. And this single seat setup here is actually racy, looks great, and is also at the same time quite comfortable. However, in the SUV you would have more comfort, not available here in the Turbo GT, because here with the Coupe they made the bench a little bit lower and a little bit different from the angle, so they can still offer decent headroom. But by that you lose a little bit of comfort, but still definitely bearable. At the end of the day, you need to put your racing gloves and helmets and overalls somewhere in the trunk. And you can see here, although it's racy, it's still somewhat a useful family vehicle if you want. The Coupe is a little bit limited in height, but still somewhat okay. Meter of 40 inches in width and also a meter of 40 inches in length. And you can see here, the cabin trolley is no problem even in a vertical way. Welcome guys to the racetrack. Woo! First time on the Gotland Ring. This track was, at the time we shoot this video, recently opened, and it's supposed to be a mix of Nürburgring Nordschleife, Spa Francorchamps and Bilsterberg, and let's see what's awaiting us.
Yeah, this is brand new. I think they finished this racetrack in May, so this is a crazy racetrack you've never heard of. Similar to Ascari in my opinion, but bigger.
What is this vehicle?
Oh my god, it's a pretty tight track.
Whoa, I mean, we're driving an SUV and of course, you feel the weight and a little bit of a body roll, but I mean, considering it's an SUV, you have to bite yourself and remind it that, hey, this is an SUV, and it really feels like a sports car. Wow.
Well, Thomas, maybe when you're driving, and I'm waiting to get behind the wheel, but as a co-driver, I really feel the body roll a lot more. So I mean, of course, it's really
It's
good,
interesting.
but I feel it a lot more.
That's interesting,
I
huh?
feel like I'm being tossed around a lot
Well,
more.
I mean, the steering is so ultra precise,
Yeah.
and great grip from the Alcantara steering wheel. It's really important I can hold onto it. Oh, wow, that 4-liter V8 is also just seamless. I mean, there's no lag at all. Great acceleration out. Wow. It's a 911 Turbo in front of us as an instructor vehicle. Of course, that's a little bit unfair, right? That's the only reason I cannot catch up to him.
I can also feel the rotation, so that torque vectoring,
Wow, look
the
at that
rear
track.
axle. This quarry, they
Whoa,
bought
look
an
at
old
that.
quarry.
Oh my God!
Oh
Look
my
at,
God.
Woo! Oh
Incredible
my God!
compression as well.
Yes, totally in the
down.
compression. 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. Now it's like this. Wow! They put it, on purpose here, that you have like this shaking up process, suspension testing at its best. Now between the apex. Wow, this track is amazing. I mean, what the hell is this? Who built this and why? Obviously, we see it. Oh, we're shooting in the sky.
I don't know.
God! Oh my goodness!
They really took just an old quarry, I bet, because there's so much rock everywhere, and then they decided, hey, what do we do with this leftover quarry? Let's build a racetrack.
Yeah.
There's so much
Probably, man.
elevation change in just that section of the track.
Yeah, sometimes you feel like you're on the moon or something, and we're shooting up in the whoa. That titanium exhaust is really
getting louder,
Whoa. Oh, this is Nordschleife now.
Yeah, the
That's
carousel.
that's
I
the
can
carousel.
recognize this.
Screaming tires, but it's really a soft compound we have down there. You saw,
Very
right?
soft, yeah.
Whoa.
But so much grip, so much
Wow.
composure.
I mean, yeah, the grip that this car is offering here at this racetrack is amazing. And I mean, do you feel how it goes around in the corner?
It really
On the
is
rear-
breaking
wow.
physics. It's just, it's like the rear axle and the front axle are intelligently working together to give you the best cornering precision.
Holy moly. This is, I mean, wow.
Thomas, you're seldom speechless, but
Yeah.
I find you quite excited at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure a part of the racetrack, definitely. I mean, this racetrack is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. And yeah, I heard it would be challenging, but it is indeed. And it's kind of like the best of racetracks, kind of,
Yeah.
And
Greatest hits.
yeah, and I mean, there's no doubt. A true sports car like the 911, for example, it will still be better on this racetrack than the Cayenne. There's no denying the fact, and then no denying the physics in a way,
Yeah.
But for an SUV, I guess that is as good as it gets at this moment. I don't see an SUV can be sportier than this, So really impressed. So I mean, at the time, you're right, AJ. You feel the body roll, feel the weight of the vehicle, and it's in a way, seating-wise, it's more comfortable here on the racetrack in the Cayenne. But of course, G-force-wise, it's more comfortable in the sports car on the racetrack, no doubt about that. But once again, I think it's a good example of what you can do with an SUV when you tune it to the max, and you will feel it when you get to drive it. The moment you get on the throttle, the car gets lighter. It helps the car so much more to get around the corner. So proof of the rear-wheel bias of the all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, of course, it's all-wheel drive, so I can even more accelerate in the corners. With rear-wheel drive, we would rather, wait until the exit of the corner. And here with all-wheel drive, I can sometimes, I'm halfway out of the corner, I can already hammer the throttle.
Oh no, this part of the track again.
Yeah.
Thomas, here we go.
Wow, that looks
Hold
amazing
on to
with
your
water.
lunch.
Whoa! my goodness.
I felt the traction control cutting a little bit. I heard it because
Yeah.
I think, well, we're not airborne, but we were
Oh
going to lose
my
traction.
God.
So bumpy here. Oh my God. The car's just like jumping.
200 kilometers now, 125 miles. Oh. Guys, I need a shower. Definitely, I need 2 showers after these laps.
You need a hose car down.
Yeah.
And then now straight to the moon, you know?
Once
Just like
again,
Richard Branson a couple days ago. I feel like I'm being
Actually-
shot into space right now. Here we go. Oh.
oh my goodness. Oh, what an experience here, what an experience. So, you want to try that thing?
Hell yeah.
So now AJ turn, and he promised me that I can keep my lunch. So be gentle on me, I'm a bad co-driver.
Be gentle on me, it's my first time. No.
Oh, I know where this, where the handles are here. I also have a nice Alcantara wrapped handle in the top part on the right side. So now I really know what they are for, and
I promise to go gentle. I think it's a great way to understand the car and understand its dynamics a little bit better. But it seems like I'm playing a video game with a cheat code where there's no way for me to lose traction because it's just, I don't know, it's impossible. There's so much grip.
it's hooking up so well.
It's incredible, really is. It shouldn't be this easy to drive something this heavy, this quickly. Something is wrong.
Yeah, and I have to say, I mean, considering it's an SUV, I would have imagined it worse as a co-driver. But I mean, yes, you feel it's no low-seating sports car.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, time-wise, you can score really good lap times here.
Yeah, I mean, as a driver, I'm a lot more focused. My body is always leaning in.
Yeah.
I'm in the zone, right? So for me, I don't feel like I'm being tossed around so much, whereas you would as the co-driver.
Roller coaster.
This track is just ridiculous. It really feels like you're on the moon.
It's absolutely ridiculous, this track. It's probably the most ridiculous track I've driven. I mean, yes.
We've been to a lot of racetracks.
Yeah.
I mean, Nürburgring many times, and then some others. This really feels like the moon because of the white rocks, and then like these huge craters. It's really distracting. This gorgeous drop and this pond on the left, but you got to keep in line
you
here.
gotta take your focus, on the right there, like.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to be in the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, the steering, Porsche steering is always impeccable. This is no different. Along with that torque vectoring differential and rear steering, it really is continuously manipulating the way the rear wheels are pointing, and it just helps you rotate the car so easily. That four-wheel drive as well, which can shuffle power, and that anti-roll, that active body control with those active anti-roll bars.
Yeah,
Really, I think it just
very straight, man.
it shouldn't be this easy. The seats are really, holding me in place really well. The braking also, by the way, is really good. It's again, the car kind of wraps itself around you. I'm taking it slow. It's a cool down lap
it's
now.
down. It's cool, but even at that speed, it's like the whole entrails come like.
You go a little bit weightless for a moment.
Yeah, totally.
I think we've had enough fun hooning this SUV around on the racetrack. Let's take it out around Sweden, around Gotland a little bit, and try to see if it's an SUV you can live with. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, we've been to the racetrack and it was an amazing performance for an SUV. But what about, maybe you're not racing this SUV all day on the racetrack. So what about the normal driving experience? And I would say so far, fairly comfortable, right?
Yeah, it's a really great SUV to live with. I think the sound insulation is something that we first noticed. Despite the really big wheels, the carbon fiber roof, there's still quite a lot of sound deadening.
Yeah, I mean, so it doesn't feel so much different from a normal Cayenne. Of course, you feel the sport air setup, that's stiffer. The steering to me is way firmer than in the normal Cayenne, also driving it on the road. But I wouldn't say that, you went for the sportiest version, you cannot use it on the road. I think it still does the good job with the air suspension. You feel this lower and stiffer setup, I think also as a passenger. But still, it's not that I would say this is now an uncomfortable car. And I think that's also the secret about the Cayenne. People go for it to get the Porsche feeling, but without the back pain from a 911 or something.
Absolutely. The seats are also really comfortable. I think the padding is just right. Because this is a wider car or an SUV, I think the seats are also a little bit more generous, you know? They're a little bit wider. Plus, there's plenty of soft touch materials anywhere you look, anywhere your legs, your knee, your arms, your elbows might touch.
Alcantara steering wheel is just lovely.
Padded armrest on the door, here in the central console, even this little kind of haunch here for me to rest my palm.
Look at that, AJ is hardly moving as a passenger.
Hardly moving, yeah.
I mean, it's also like, because of the microfiber seats, I mean, it's really hot today outside, and we don't even need the seat cooling because the microfiber seat, we don't sweat in that so much, and it also keeps you tighter. So that's really good for your passengers.
Yeah, perforated. And it's I think the entire cabin has an aura of quality and rigidity. Everything is taut and tight. A little bit too much black for my taste. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like the contrasting elements, but I also love bright interior. I mean, this is like this rather subtle, sporty styling. That's cool. Oh, they put the microfiber horns here. That's great. It's also better for like when you touch it with your knees here. Exactly. That's really good. And here that rear extra steering. It's really playing an effect, right? You somehow feel that something is moving, you know, in the rear. Although it would be, I think we can slow down a little bit. Here, when we're at slow speed, then there we go. You also feel it in the steering wheel. When you're driving really slow, then you feel the rear wheels are going in the opposite direction than the front wheels. Steering feels a little bit lighter then, and the car feels, it's kind of like this faking a shorter wheelbase.
Exactly. It kind of spins like around its axis like a top. I mean, the first time I drove this platform was, I think, about 3-4 years ago with the Touareg. And then, even with the RSQ8 that we had recently, it really shrinks this bulk, this length and this width. Well, you can't really do much, but it really makes it easy to maneuver. And again, coming back to that livability that the Cayenne has, you're not really compromising much. It's bigger than the Macan, but then some people need bigger cars. They need to have more space for their lifestyle activities, family, and so on.
I found, like, as a tall person, also a little bit more comfortable than the Macan. The Macan is already also, of course, it's a mid-size SUV. It's comfortable enough, but you do get a little bit more comfort in here in the Cayenne, even though it is like this super high-spec version. And probably this is like now the pinnacle of the Cayenne, probably from this generation as far as we will ever go in this generation, I guess.
No, this is really great, a great swan song to the Cayenne of this generation.
We also have even more Porsche Cayenne reviews. You should check them out. And we also have the main competitors of this one here, like the comparison Audi RSQ8 versus Aston Martin DBX, or maybe BMW X5M, BMW X6M. See you there.